Likes of Santini running over fences for the first time. That's the Breuil who's heading to post. Let's talk about him as he's in shot. He ran second last time behind Count Meribel. We've just seen Jerry's Brack to some degree franking that form by winning at Bangor, in that he was never in it. His jumping couldn't keep up with the rest of them.
No, if you took that as a true form line, it would make this horse a certainty.
Yeah.
But yes, he tendency to jump right-handed around Cheltenham, which is, again, a shade of a worry, but he likes to make the running. Whether he will in this field, I'm not certain, particularly as this is his first try at the trip, but I'm sure he'll be somewhere near the front of it. And although he was probably slightly flattered to finish as close as he did at Cheltenham, it was still a sound effort. Yes,
and he's stuck on in the way that I think ultimately this trip will suit. I mean, it's quite a tough ask first time against this level of rival.
It is, and he's not bred for it, but I can see your argument that he might actually appreciate it in time.
Let's see if we can see, well, given the weather conditions, let's see if we can see Santini, Nico de Boinville on board for Nicky Henderson. And this is a Grade 1 winner over hurdles. He won the second over 3 miles, beating Roxana. Prior to that, as an relatively inexperienced horse, he'd been third in the Albert Bartlett behind Kilbrick and Storm.
Yeah, very, very talented novice hurdler that promises to make up into an even better novice chaser, we hope. I mean, it looks desperate out round there, but and the two jockeys you spoke to after the first said soft ground. Time didn't say that.
No, Wayne Hutchinson felt it was soft, you need to handle it in order to get through it, and Nico de Boinville, who was on the runner-up, said soft, wet, but the Times were saying...
Well, 4:01, I mean, I'd expect a genuine soft ground 2 mile hurdle time around here is about 4:08, 4:10, and they're much quicker than that. So despite conditions, it hasn't really affected the ground a great deal. Anyway, Santini, I just hope he produces something that we can all sort of leap hold of and take with us away from the meeting, rather like knocking us yesterday.
Well, that was fantastic, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just?
A really, really brilliant performance from him. A bit guessy at some fences, but brilliant at others. And Santini is looking to make a taking chase debut. He's built for it, if not bred for it.
Yeah, and I mean, he looked very well, and it will definitely be better for the run, I thought.
Kilbrick and Storm, who beat Santini at the Cheltenham Festival, has already had a go over fences and jumped repeatedly out to his right at Foslas.
Well, it was very slightly right-handed for a lot of the race, but in the closing stages he jumped 1 or 2 fences markedly out to the right. Now, it may have been because he'd been out in front for a long time and he might have just been sort of thinking about it or whatever, but he definitely did, and that's a sort of slight concern going into this, where obviously the fences do take some jumping. You know he stays forever, and there's likely to be a decent pace for him to track rather than have to make it himself.
Yeah, not only did he win the Albert Bartlett, he was third behind Nexus Nation in a Grade 1 at Punchestown later on in the season, and prior to that he'd been third in the Challow Hurdle here at Newbury, shaping like he would improve for the Stepford trip, as he duly did. Let's discuss Mr. Big Shot, who looks fit and ready to go on seasonal and chase debut.
He does. We haven't seen very much of him at all, but just the 2 runs last season, and he made up for lost time when winning that big handicap at Aintree. He's got some chases in the pedigree, and he's quite a fascinating contender. He does look fit.
Yes, and he too is built for this new task.
Very much.
And there he is. He is the mount of Tom Scudamore representing David Pipe. Rocky's Treasure has been a revelation over fences, and to see him in the paddock, you can understand why. He's a big, rangy, tall, scopy chasing type, and he's won all 3 of his starts over fences. Yeah,
and he has already proved to be a much better chaser than he was hurdler. What he's achieved is open to question, because he hasn't really beaten a great deal, but he's done it in fairly emphatic fashion, and he certainly deserves his place in the lineup.
And your stopwatch news will be good news for Kim Bailey, because he might have been a little bit concerned about the rain getting into the ground.
Yeah, it does look as if Rocky's Treasure wants good ground, and I'll be very keen to time this, because I'm not expecting this to be anything, at the very worst, the chase course to be good to soft.
Skip the Cuddles is making his chase debut. It's also his seasonal debut.
He likes to get on with it. He also likes giving the ground. He made all when winning at Ludlow in the spring, and they whipped him out rapidly to run on the last day of the season at Sandown, and he couldn't quite back it up.
And this is it. He's also making his chase debut. He also likes to go forward.
He does. I'm not sure he'd be able to go forward for too long in this company, but he he did win first time out last season, and he does have chases in his pedigree. So further down the line, there might be something for him.
Now, the market was very informative just before the off for our first race. Santini here is 11 to 8, Kilbrick and Storm 5 to 2, 9 to Mr. Big Shot, money for him.
Isn't there? So there's obviously some confidence behind him. I think a lot of that, or at least some of that money in the first race was when people realised that Posh Trish was going to make the running. Perhaps there'll be a late dart here when these line up.
Really good edition of the Ladbrokes John Francome Novices Chase. It's a grade 2 over virtually 3 miles. We can join Ian Bartlett for the call.
They'll jump 18 fences in total, just out on the hurdles course at the moment, and about to make their way onto the steeplechase track. Flag is up. Starter is ready for them, so they're about to come in. Slowly making their way up to the tape. They're off. A race for the second, the Ladbrokes John Francome Novices Chase. 18 fences they have to jump. They begin by taking 2 plain ones down the back straight on this first circuit. Le Broil and Rocky's Treasure will be the leading pair at it. Wide of them, the longest price runner, This Is It, was not far behind. Great Jacket of Santini towards the right, the inner running rail. The favourites are about 2 lengths off the leaders at this stage as they move down towards fence number 2. Level with him was Skip the Cuddles in the red and white, and then Kilbrick and Storm, mainly Red Jacket. The back marker is Mr. Big Shot as they move then down towards the end of the back straight for the first time. Of the 18 fences they'll jump, 3 will be open ditches, numbers 5, 10 and 16, and they'll jump the water right in front of the stands just the once, and it will be fence number 8. Rocky's Treasure, David Bass, in a combination of blue and pink. Horse looking for his 4th win in a row, is the leader as they move down to the one at the bottom end of the course. Fence number 3, Le Broil in dark blue and pink colours will take it in 2nd place. All got over it okay. Perhaps at the rear there, Mr. Big Shot was a little bit slower than some of his rivals. Skip the Cuddles, Adam Wedge in red and white colours has moved up now to be disputing 2nd position around the outside of Le Broil as they move into the straight. The Red Jacket, Harry Cobden on Kilbrick and Storm, the 2nd favourite, is now moving up to dispute 3rd position as they race on to fence number 4. This Is It is nearest to the stand side. The stripes on the sleeves and the cap is next as they jump over this. He was just fractionally on touching down behind the grey colours of Santini, with Mr. Big Shot and Tom Scudamore remaining the back marker of these septet as they come to the first of the open ditches. This is fence number 5. All handled okay, and they have 2 more planes and the water down the straight on this first circuit. So in the centre, the noseband of Rocky's Treasure shows up well on the outer of Le Broil as they jump that, and they're almost touching down together. Then Santini races a grey jacket next to him in red. Kilbrick and Storm in red and white. Skip the Cuddles nearest to the stands as they move on towards number 7. This Is It is about a half length ahead of Mr. Big Shot, and those are 6th and 7th at the moment as they race them with just over a circuit to go now, heading towards the water jump number 8. Le Broil and Darryl Jacob would lead onto it by only about a half length or so. David Bass on Rocky's Treasure in the blue and pink, taking Sid in 2nd position. Then the grey colours, Santini, Nico de Boinville has moved through against the running well, now to edge so into 3rd place, very narrowly ahead of Skip the Cuddles, and sandwiched between the pair is Kilbrick and Storm. About a length, maybe a length and a half at most, to the green colours of Mr. Big Shot against the running well, who's in company with the outsider. This Is It as they level up then to the far side. 5 fences this circuit to take in the back straight. The first of them, number 9, they come towards it now. Le Broil is the leader by around about a length and a half. Jumped it well. Rocky's Treasure was a little slow in 2nd. Here's number 10. It's another one of the open ditches on the way round. Now Rocky's Treasure with the noseband comes through to try and take up the leading from Le Broil. At the rear there, Mr. Big Shot was a little bit slower than his rivals, and they head towards the middle plane fence down the far side. Kilbrick and Storm with Santini and Skip the Cuddles are together 3rd, 4th and 5th places. Santini an error there though in the grey colours. That momentarily drops in to be last but 1. They've now completed a circuit and they move down to the last 2 plain fences over the far side. Le Broil The leader there by around about 1 length. Got over to the noseband of Rocky's Treasure in second place. Santini, Kilbrick and Storm and Skip the Cuddles are 3, 4 and 5. Wide on the course then is This Is It. And Mr. Big Shot is still the back marker as they take the last one over the far side. They're all over it okay. And they have now only 5 more to jump from here. The lead, Le Broil, dark blue and pink colours for Daryl Jacob, has raced up in the front throughout so far. Rocky's Treasure, David Bass in blue and pink is a length off him in second place. Grey colours, Santino, Nicky de Boinville against the running rail in third. Wide of him, red and white Adam Wedge on Skip the Cuddles. Between the pair, Harry Cobden in red with a green star, Kilbrick and Storm. This group of 5 are separated by only around about 2 lengths. This Is It and Mr. Big Shot are right in behind those as they take the cross fence for the final time. They all got over it okay. Le Broil still leading as they move towards the home turn with 4 more to jump in this Ladbrokes John Francome Novices chase. Rocky's Treasure's only a neck behind the leader in second. Skip the Cuddles, red and white, big odds, running a big race. Santini, the grey jacket, is the far side of him, moving up into third and getting closer to the leaders. 2 lengths away, Kilbrick and Storm. Mr. Big Shot is behind those as they move then down towards the 4th last. The back marker, This Is It. They all got over it okay. Here's the final open ditch coming up. Rocky's Treasure takes on Le Broil. Santini right in behind them. Skip the Cuddles is next. Kilbrick and Storm behind those in 5th position appear to struggle. This Is It as unseated Tom Billamy at the final ditch. 3 from the finish. 2 to go now, and Rocky's Treasure with the noseband. Le Broil, but Santini in the grey colours is coming with his challenge now. These are clear from Skip the Cuddles, and then comes Kilbrick and Storm. The final fence coming up. The noseband, Rocky's Treasure. Santini, the grey jacket, didn't jump it too well in second place. Lands in a length behind him. Further back in the field, Kilbrick and Storm slithers on landing, comes to a standstill. Santini has taken it up in the run towards the line. Nicky de Boinville on Santini, now going on by 2 or 3 lengths in the closing stages. It's a winning chase debut for him. Second position, Rocky's Treasure. Back in third place, Le Broil, and then Skip the Cuddles in 4th.
In the end, it was an authoritative success from Santini on his chase debut here. Sent off the 11 to 8 favourite, Nicky de Boinville on board for Nicky Henderson, and it's everything they would have hoped from the chase debut. Just one significant error. He lost his place in the back straight, made a mistake and lost his place a little bit further, but he got back into it. Rocky's Treasure has run superbly. He's gone down all guns blazing in second there, having won 3 of his previous races over fences, and it's a really good run for David Bass and Kim Bailey. Back in third is Le Broil, his first try at this trip, and he's shaped promisingly at it for Daryl Jacob and Ben Pauling. And Skip the Cuddles, although he's out of that shot, has run really well, excelled himself on his chase debut, the 7-year-old for Graham McPherson. But we have an exciting winner, Jonathan.
We really do. There was, as you said, that one pretty serious error down the far side. Other than that, he jumped fine, and he's won it with proper authority. He'll come on for the run, and he looks every inch what we hoped he would.
Here we are, where with Rocky's Treasure up front on the inside, Le Broil, Santini sitting in third at this stage. Skip the Cuddles just being pushed along, but does rally quite significantly. We should cover Mr. Big Shot because he was sticky in his fences. He seemed to lose his confidence and started jumping big.
Yeah, he didn't jump at all well, Mr. Big Shot, and Kilbrick and Storm made 1 or 2 errors and underperformed as well, which you could say takes a bit of the gloss off the win with the second and third favourites not really being anywhere near the best. Out jumped at the last, Santini, but he's got real quality and he's quickly asserted.
Rocky's Treasure is a treasure, isn't he? I mean, that was a lovely jump at the last to keep him bang into contention. If Santini hadn't been good enough to get past, that would have sealed it.
Yeah, he's won 3 out of 3 up until now, but that is by a long way a personal best.
Yeah, it's a superb performance, but this is a very exciting chase prospect, and he's been shortened for the RSA chase. 3 to 1 from 6 with Unibet, 4 from 11 to 2 with Betway, and 4 from 6s with Sky Bet. He is an exciting young horse. He'd always suggested that he would be a better chaser than hurdler. He was pretty good hurdler. He won at Grade 1, and the sky is the limit for Santini.
Isn't it just? That was very good, Santini.